Hello everyone, welcome back to Shady Movie Reviews, and today we're talking about the movie It Chapter 2. Alright, so It Chapter 2, the concluding chapter to It Chapter 1, a masterpiece, or another failed sequel? Let's talk about it. Cue the intro. Alright, so let's just dive right into the plot of this film. Alright, so in this movie we continue to follow the story of the Losers Club, all grown up and 27 years later. The Losers Club consists of Billy, Ben, Eddie, Richie, Stanley, Mike, and Beverly. All the other members of the Losers Club have families and careers now outside of Derry except for Mike. Mike summons the rest of the Losers Club back to Derry because it appears Pennywise is back and he is not happy for what the Losers Club did to him 27 years ago. And it wants revenge. It's up to the Losers Club to band together again to rediscover the past they have forgotten and face their greatest fears to take down it once and for all and to save Derry from this murderous clown. Alright, so on to my positives, what I liked about the film. Alright, so one thing that I really enjoyed about this film was the cast. Now, I've talked about this on my channel before, but James McAvoy is one of my favorite actors, and I just feel like he has so much talent. James McAvoy can play the serious superhero Professor X role. He can play the psychotic multiple personality disorder guy out of Split, and then he can play a middle-aged man who's been traumatized by a clown. All I'm saying is the dude's got talent. And then another thing that added to the performance as well was Bill Hader was definitely really comical and really funny. I really enjoyed his performance. I really enjoyed the comedy. I really love how it intersected with the horror and suspense, but it didn't drown it out either. And then another thing I really enjoyed about this film was the suspense and horror. I felt like in this movie they definitely took a lot more risks than the first film. I just felt like in the first film they played it safe with a lot of the horror and a lot of the aspects and Pennywise's abilities, and I wanted them to expand on what Pennywise can do and like who he is as a character, and they definitely did that in this film. I also really enjoyed this film because we got to hear more from Pennywise. He had a lot more dialogue in this movie, and he was actually having like conversations with characters and the Losers Club, and you got to see a lot of his motives and what drives him, and it made him more of a deeper character. And then another point I want to bring up, I really enjoyed the final battle. It was action-packed, it was awesome, it was a grand scale final battle that I didn't think they were going to do. It was really cool when it started. I'll get a little more into that when we talk about the negatives. Alright, so on my negatives and what I disliked about the film. Alright, so one thing that I really disliked about this film was the runtime. When I first found out that the runtime for It Chapter 2 was going to be 2 hours and 50 minutes, I was really excited because you can do a lot with 2 hours and 50 minutes. But I definitely feel that the 2 hour and 50 minute runtime wasn't necessary for this film. I walked out of the theater feeling like we could have accomplished the same film with 2 hours and 25 minutes. I'm glad that it wasn't super short. I feel like they did need a longer runtime, but it just seemed like they didn't fully take advantage of this long runtime that they were given. And the biggest negative of this film was the ending. I'm sorry guys, but just like the book, everyone hated the ending. Now I didn't hate it, I just disliked it. But I should make it a point, maybe there might be a little minor spoiler here, but in the movie, Bill was a writer and he wrote a book. And throughout the whole film, they make jokes that the ending was horrible. And the ending turned out to be like, I feel like that's the best way I could describe it. It wasn't horrible, but it's just, I felt like leaving the theater on this movie, guys, I really felt a little bit unsatisfied. Not unsatisfied with the whole film, don't get me wrong. About 85% of this movie was outstanding, and like runtime wise, and then the last 15% just fell flat. I don't know how they should have ended it, but I feel like it shouldn't have ended like that. Alright, so on to my judgment and movie score. Alright, time to bust out the Shady meter. Alright guys, so for the plot of this film, I'm gonna have to give this movie a solid 8.6 out of 10. And that's because this movie definitely did better than the first one in its plot and its premise. I definitely felt like it was more grandiose, it was good. They dove into more of the concepts. And then for the script, guys, I'm gonna have to give this movie a solid 8.2 out of 10. All the actors did very well with the script, and it was funny, it was well written. I felt like the dialogue between all the characters, Pennywise, the Losers Club, all the outside characters, it was definitely well thought out and well planned. I felt like the dialogue was fresh, it was nice. I loved the banter between all the characters. That's my favorite part. And then for the acting, guys, I'm gonna have to give this movie a solid 8.8 out of 10. And that's because I definitely feel like the cast really did make this movie what it was. But acting across the board, beautiful acting, believable, amazing. I really loved all these characters, and the emotion in this film was deep, contrasted, it was nice. I felt everyone definitely played their roles very well. And of course, man, Skarsgård, he's an amazing Pennywise. He did a really good job, again, killed his role. And then for the structure and pacing, guys, I'm gonna have to give this movie a solid 7.6 out of 10. And it's probably the lowest score because, like I said before, I felt like this movie just seemed overdrawn, and I felt like some stuff could have been cut out. There were a couple slow points where I just felt like it was unnecessary, and for a 2-hour and 50-minute runtime, more could have happened. And then for the overall score, guys, I'm gonna have to give the movie It Chapter 2 a solid 8 out of 10. So if you guys are gonna go see this movie in theaters, don't worry, no shade in sight. So, It Chapter 2, have you guys seen it? Have you guys not? Jump down in the comments section, let's start a conversation. Remember to like, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh, and don't forget, you'll float too.